part of RuneFest 2011's exclusive insider sessions, RuneScape founders Paul and Andrew Gower joined lead designer Mod Mark to reflect on the first 10 great years of Gielinor.
In the early days, we wanted to sort of get as much sort of gameplay time into your quest as possible, because when I was just the content team, I wanted to sort of get a reasonable amount of gameplay with only one developer. So there were things which we did just to make the quest last longer.
Some of the biggest examples that we can see in the game are like the massive long fence that used to continue along the side of Lumbridge before you could get down to the swamp, or the dig site fence, or my personal favourite, the epically long fence just along by the side of a rock, so you have to walk on a merry way just to find out where Lucian was.
And that wasn't just about making the quest last longer, that was also about making the map feel bigger.
Oh, right.
Because it was really small when we first launched.
The map wasn't that big. We put a huge amount of work into building it, but there's only a couple of us putting it together.
It was just Misthalin when we launched.
It wasn't that big. We wanted to make it feel bigger, so we put sort of fences that force you to sort of zigzag backwards and forwards across it to try and make it feel bigger.
Let's talk about the world map now. The world map's changed quite a lot over the years. Can you tell us how it evolved?
We did map out a fair chunk of area which we wanted to build in the first place. So I did actually have on paper how I wanted Misthalin and Asgarnia to be. But then we sort of came to the end of that area, and then after that, things sort of grew a little bit more organically. We sort of plonked things a little bit on the side.
Yeah, we pretty much
as
made
and
it
when
as
we
we
need
went
them.
along.
We made it up as we went along, which has produced a few oddities on the map.
Yeah. Tell us about the sort of choke point of the mountains.
Oh yeah, I mean the White Wolf Mountain is obviously a point you have to get through if you want to get through to the west side of the world, unless you go by boat or teleport or something. If you wanted to walk, you have to go through White Wolf Mountain, which when we first put it in, you had to go to White Wolf Mountain just to get to a little area which was just Catherby and Camelot.
Then obviously we didn't intend that almost the entire members map would be on the other side of it, but having put a little bit of members content there, we're like, well, we want to put the new members content next to the old members content, so it ended up on the other side of White Wolf Mountain as well. And we ended up growing the whole map back down again. So that weird sort of shape with that choke point was meant to be just blocking off a little bit, and it ended up sort of choking off the whole side of the map. So I mean, talking about the evolution of the map, evolution of mountains, we had a good number of attempts at building a mountain. So our first mountain was Ice Mountain. Woohoo! We thought it'd be really nice to put a mountain in the game. We built it with a whole map square big, and then a few weeks later we're like, it's not really a mountain. It feels more like a hill with snow on it, to be honest with you. We'll try again. We'll build a bigger mountain. So we built White Wolf Mountain, and that's like several map squares big. But we had a bit of a technical challenge with this, because the actual amount of height difference that the map editor allowed wasn't that great. So we sort of, after we went uphill a little bit, we actually ran out of space. We couldn't go any higher long before we'd reached the middle of the square. So what we did with White Wolf Mountain is we built it in tiers, and it goes up in a sudden cliff, which we hope you notice. And then there's a very shallow gradient back down again, which you kind of hoped you wouldn't notice. And then it goes back up again. It actually zigzags up and down, and we're trying to get the illusion that it's higher than it is.
Another thing that sort of changed and sort of helped shape the way that the game world works is mini-games.
Produced Gnome Ball. That was round about when we were starting to produce RS2, which was a great big huge project, and it was taking a lot of our staff away from producing the regular updates. I think they were about once every 3 weeks at the time. And so we said to our developer Mod Tom, can you come and produce a whole bunch of small updates which we can sort of tide us over while we're making RS2, so we can have a few updates each. So Gnome Ball was something which was a fairly small little update, but we felt because it was something which you could play over and over again, it might keep people going quite a while for the small amount of development work.
Again, just like everything we're talking about has evolved beyond all recognition. For a long time, people were like, minigames, they're not, because they thought of Gnome Ball.
Yes.
And then we did Castle Wars. That was kind of landmark as the first big, sort of popular, successful minigame. We were really delighted with the response to that. There was people,
Suddenly people like minigames.
When we launched it, everyone was playing it. There was people storming the walls, shooting the catapults. Where every time we had a visit to the office, we would proudly show them Castle Wars. Go, look at all these people. And then this isn't even the main game. That kind of set a new bar, which we then every subsequent minigames had to live up to.
So our final topic today, we're going to talk about holiday events. So holiday events have changed quite dramatically over the years, from kind of the early days of lobbing things on the floor, and these days where we have a huge, fantastically crafted Halloween event, and even build like an event like this around the holiday event that we're doing. So tell us about pumpkins.
Pumpkins were the very first holiday event. Basically, all that was we thought, oh, it's Halloween. It'd be nice maybe to give the players a little bit of a memento for Halloween. So we just quickly put together a pumpkin object. It was food, so we made it so you could eat it to heal yourself. And then we wandered around the game and gave it to the players.
And we manually gave every single pumpkin out.
Easter eggs next, right?
Yeah, I mean, we did those. It took us a while to really work out that wasn't working. I think we did them the same way.
Right.
But ultimately, we changed it so that there was a character in game.
I think Santa just appeared in the middle of Varrock Square, and then each player could get one yo-yo from Santa.
The thing is, we always noticed that the holiday events were very, very popular, even though they were they were just an item to start with, very little effort. But all anyone was talking about on the forums was what was the item going to be, when they got it, all anyone was talking about was how many they got. It was massive amount of buzz. So we realized very early on that they were quite accidental sort of, but very, sought after things. So we've been, in response to that, making them bigger and bigger and bigger, building more and more elaborate events. The last few holiday events have been full-blown, massive areas with huge amounts of scripting and animation. This year is one of the biggest yet, and we've got a whole sort of real-life thing. I haven't played this year's holiday event yet. I'm going to be playing it in the gaming pit later this afternoon.
Okay.
I'm saving it for RuneFest.